Today on CHGO Blackhawks, Mario Tirabassi is back. The Blackhawks are tied to Matthew Knies again, and big trades are happening all over the league. Join us next on CHGO Blackhawks. Welcome to CHGO Blackhawks Draft Week, and our coverage is presented by Sunnyside. Use our code HICHGO for 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Love to have Sunnyside along with us for the draft this week, and we have made it. The draft is here. Mario is back.
Hello.
Greg is here. I'm here. Chloe's here. Thank God we have made it to this week because there's so much going on. I feel if I put my phone down for 5 minutes, I'm going to miss something. And yet, no team has been quieter than the Chicago Blackhawks. I have listened to 32 Thoughts. I've listened to Frankly Hockey and his Franks and Beans segment, which delights me. It's just like, and no one's talking about the Hawks, which makes me think Kyle Davidson has something brewing. I don't know. We're going to get to that. We're definitely going to talk about league-wide stuff, and that's actually where we're going to start today. Yeah, the big Matthew Kachuk, Brady Tkachuk trade yesterday, but right before the show, Calgary makes a big trade, and they get Simon Nemec and Max Siplikov from the Devils for the 35th pick this year. Vegas is first in 2027. Colorado's first in 2028. Those are both top 10 protected, and ATN Moore. So Nemec is a restricted free agent, former number 2 overall pick, I believe, who just has not found his footing in New Jersey. So there is a huge trade that happened maybe 20 minutes before the show. I'm always trying to connect these things to the Blackhawks and how they might fit. This is a little, I don't think there's much of a tie-in Blackhawks-wise here in comparison-wise.
No, I mean, it's a trade coming without a contract extension from Nemec, so it's still, you still got to figure out his RFA deal from there. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this was something that Chicago would have been in on. It'd be nice. I hope they're in on all these pending guys. But yeah, I mean, that's a good bet for Calgary to make. And look, like that's a team that's in a similar spot. They have a lot of picks to try and work with, so go for it. Like, try and make something happen.
No, I mean, Nemec definitely wanted more of an opportunity. He's going to get it in Calgary. And, you know, the Devils got a pretty decent haul back for a guy that they, you know, were disappointed in, I think. You know, using the 2nd overall pick for him, showing some flashes. He had that hat trick against the Hawks at the United Center last year.
Yes, of course he did.
So, you know, that game alone got him an extra first-round pick, so you're welcome. So, yeah, he'll get his opportunity. Calgary is a team that is, you know, trying to build back up and get back in to the middle of the pillow fight division there out west. So it's a solid ad, especially if he could hit the potential that, you know, he still has. He's still very young. These guys are all super young, 3 years. It's you know, guys can take tremendous steps at this point of his career, and that's what Calgary's banking on.
Yeah, I like the move for Calgary. They're a team that needs to start figuring it out, right? Like, and kind of starting things over. So yeah, I would like the Hawks take a flyer on that, but I think at this point, I want, if I'm giving up a bunch of draft assets, I want something that is proven. I don't want another, like, let's see what this turns into. Yeah, it's time to move the freaking ball forward.
There's an entire roster of what we don't know quite what they are yet. It's already here. So get some guys that you know who they are and that they're good.
Yes. All right. And then yesterday, the big trade. Brady Tkachuk goes to the Florida Panthers for a 2026 first-round pick, the 9th overall pick, the 25th overall pick, another first, a 2027 second, and a 2029 conditional first-round pick. So 3 firsts and a second for Brady Tkachuk, where he gave a list of teams to the Senators, and that list was Florida Panthers, Florida, and it got done. So
there was one other team on that list, my brother's team.
Yeah, fair enough. The team Matthew is on. Look, stuff like this I think it is good for the league when you have a villain team that everyone's going to root against. 31 fan bases are going to root against the Panthers. They're certainly entertaining as hell, and I think as much as 31 teams are going to root against them, 31 other teams are going to wish, damn, I wish we could be that team and play that way. They're going to be a steamroller if healthy.
I think that's the big caveat is if healthy, because that's what bit them this year, and that's what turned Chicago's extra first-round pick into next year's extra first-round pick that it could have been this year. But, yeah, I mean, I think for the Panthers, it's very on brand. But I think the trade as a whole, like, I don't think you could be surprised that it happened. I think there was enough smoke between Tkachuk wanting to get out of Ottawa as much as he wanted to poo-poo that as, oh, the media is just out to get me. Like, no, like you literally said all the things on your special podcast that made everyone think like, oh yeah, he definitely wants to get out of there. Your dad said the same thing, and your brother said the same thing. Like it was all there. So it's just like, you can't deny that was going to eventually happen, whether it was immediately or it was going to be once his contract was over. There was no future for him in Ottawa. And I think the fact that it comes down to, of course, it's Florida. I think the trade is like opening up, and it's been discussed across the NHL landscape the last couple of hours as it's, since it's happened. It's just like the landscape of the league is undergoing a shift.
Yeah.
And, we're seeing, whether it's Brady Tkachuk, whether it's Dylan Larkin, whether it's Quinn Hughes, potentially Zach Werenski, potentially Connor Hellebuck, like all of these guys that just so happen to have been on the Team USA Olympic team.
I wonder what those guys are talking about on the flight there.
And some of them are,
collusion, I believe is what
prominent American players in Canadian markets, maybe trying to get out of Canada. Like, I think there's just this big shift that's going to be coming where these players are taking more ownership, and we've kind of seen it with Austin Matthews not taking like the max contract extension he did. He was 5 years or whatever it was, and conversations about like, okay, could Connor Bedard kind of do the same thing? It's like all these bits and pieces of examples of players kind of taking ownership of their careers and not just saying like, oh, I'm just going to blindly go 8-year max deal and be committed to these teams. Well, like players are going to start dictating what they want to do and where they want to go, and there's only going to be a handful of teams that operate in a way that, at least for right now, players are putting on their trade lists. It's Florida, it's Vegas, it's like all these teams.
It's good for the players. Like it's about time that NHL players started acting like NBA, NFL, MLB players, but you're going to have the super team situation, which you're getting here in Florida.
Yeah, it's good for the players that they're getting some power and they're being able to. I'm all for that. If you're, I'm always on the player side when it comes to these things. Get overpaid if you can. Go wherever you want to play. That's fine with me. Your careers are only so long, especially in this sport. But you're just seeing these NHL GMs, like, they just can't wait to get rid of their extra salary cap. Like, the salary cap technically hasn't even gone up yet, and these teams are already, like, they just can't help themselves.
They can't help themselves, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting, the stuff you're hearing out of Ottawa. It took the Ottawa Senators over 24 hours to post a "Thank you, Brady" social media post.
Begrudgingly.
That wasn't an accident. You haven't seen or heard from any of his former teammates saying, "Oh, good luck." No, they're happy he's gone. Like, Elliot Friedman was alluding to some stuff, and he's a guy that's not just going to throw rumors out there. He's hearing directly that after the Olympics, it wasn't good there, and he cared more about doing his little podcast with his brother, and had 0 points in the playoffs.
Well, and he also
couldn't wait to get out.
Didn't Elliott say something to the effect that like Brady was unhappy that he didn't come back to like a hero's welcome in Ottawa? Like, of course not. You just
Canada.
kick their nation in the nuts repeatedly.
Yeah.
They're not going to come back and throw you a ticker tape parade.
Like
they just lost to you, bro.
Read the room.
I don't know. It's weird. And like, I do believe it. I do believe that you can have, I mean, it's happened throughout sports. Good players that are bad for the room, and even though you look at like a guy that's an all-star, a guy that puts up huge points, sometimes getting that guy out of your room can be beneficial because it is a distraction. And even if like it's not the personality necessarily or like the guy's behavior, like just having this trade stuff hanging over teams is not good either. Like that's why I think when Seth Jones said like, it's not what I signed up for. Kyle Davidson's like, good. Let's get him out of here. We don't want this thing lingering. We don't want it hanging. The same thing with Quinn Hughes. Could Vancouver have held on to him a little longer? Yeah. But once the toothpaste is out of the tube, it's hard to put back in. So, look, I think it makes the Panthers better. We'll see what Ottawa does. All the speculation is that Ottawa's going to continue to try to improve their team. And I wonder if this makes them players for a Jason Robertson or a Matthew Knies or somebody like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're still a good team, even sans Brady Tkachuk, and those picks are nice, but like they're trying to win.
Yeah, they got Tim Stützle and Jake Sanderson, 2 stars on very reasonable contracts, entering the primes of their career.
They should rebuild and send both those guys to the Hawks.
So they're going to try and do something. What they can do now, I don't know, but they had to do something. It sounds like they pretty much were told that he's not going to resign there after 2 years. So get it now. You know, they probably would have liked to gotten more than just draft picks, but when you're only given one team to trade to, that limits what you can do.
Yeah,
and all these teams that are on his list, allegedly the Panthers, Minnesota Wild, all of a sudden that's a destination, even that team's never won squat. And then the 2 Stanley Cup finals.
Right.
So
Vegas
none
and
of
Carolina,
those teams have anything to give you that's going to make it worth your while.
Right.
You know, the Panthers don't have a first-round draft pick now until 2030.
Yeah.
So they're riding this wave.
Panthers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have.
Well, they don't care.
They don't know. They obviously don't.
They don't care.
They don't.
They've already traded with the up-and-coming Austin hockey squadron.
Yeah.
They're riding this wave, and when it comes crashing down, it's going to be really bad. But that's why you get as many cups. Get as many cups as you can, because you know their roster is great right now, but it's not going to be great in a couple of years.
Well, they got 7 players. So is it 7 or 8 players that are all 30 or older?
Yeah.
And
all making
most of
money.
them locked up for a number of years.
Hey man,
like,
you know what? Banners hang forever.
You're trying,
and it's
got to try for it.
Listen, nobody cares. Nobody cared about Brent Seabrook's contract when it happened. Nobody cares about it now. Nobody cares about some of the bad moves because you walk in the United Center, you see those 3 banners. That's all that matters. Yep. They got that done. Had they never won any of those cups, then you can complain more.
Yeah, of course.
But they're winning. If they win another one this year, no one's going to care about not having a first-round pick until the next century.
Right.
Well, we've been talking about, how does the league change now? Like, with the cap going up, like when Kyle Davidson started this rebuild, it was different. Like, the league was different, but the cap has gone up so far. Free agency is completely pretty much dead these days. I think 2 or 3 really good players are going to hit free agency, and I think chances are there might be signing trades done before. Like, they're already talking about John Carlson probably going to Tampa. Like, it's a done deal. Like, so
tampering.
Few guys are going to – it is tampering.
File
100%.
those charges now.
But, like, I think now the new wave of free agency is GMs looking at guys who are a year or 2 removed from free agency, and that's why Zach Werenski's name is coming up, and that's why Kirill Marchenko's name is coming up. Like, the GM, Don Waddell in Columbus, and teams like that have to go to their star players like Brady Tkachuk in Ottawa and say, look, we love you. You're the best player we've ever had in our franchise, Zach Werenski. But your deal's up in 2 years. Like, do you have any interest in coming back here? Or are you gone? Like, and be honest, because we'll just move you quicker and maximize the value. I think that might be the new kind of revolution in free agency, is trying to find guys with a year or 2 left on their deal that they know are walking out and try to jump on that. But again, those guys are going to be able to dictate where they go. So it's how when you are the Blackhawks or you're a team like that, do you become a player in free agency and those sort of things? Like, could the Hawks trade late round pick to Buffalo to get the negotiating rights to Alex Tuch? Sure, they could. But does Alex Tuch want to play here? We don't know.
Right.
That's the really difficult thing. So we are going to shift. We're going to hit the break zone. We're going to shift the conversation over to the Hawks because Emily Kaplan this morning once again mentioned the Hawks number 4 pick and Matthew Knies. So we'll get to that. Hit that like button. Back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. Summertime in Chicago is here, and that means a season full of red line runs, 120 start times, and Bridgeport baseball is on deck. And right now at Bet365, it's the perfect time to prepare for Chicago's perfect season. Thanks to their Bet $10, get $150 in bonus bets deal. All you have to do is sign up and make your first $10 bet, and Bet365 will throw you $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The only thing better than that is having a playpen connection. And don't worry, Chicago, I don't have one. Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the app. Use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. This offer is for 21 plus only. You must be physically located in Illinois to play. Terms and conditions apply. And this wonderful offer from our friends at Bet365 is available in the Bet365 app only.
Our friends at Sunnyside Dispensary are here to elevate your baseball season, and Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from, with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far south as Champaign and as far north as South Beloit. So stop into the store nearest to you for expert guidance from their staff, and you can check out Stash Pass, which is their summer rewards program that lets you earn rewards simply by visiting and making qualifying purchases. Every visit earns a stamp, bringing you closer to your next reward. Live now through September while supplies last, giving you plenty of opportunities to earn rewards all summer long. Head to their website for only the best under the sun, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases when you use the code HICHGO. That's HICHGO. Sunnyside Dispensary, only the best under the sun, only for those 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders.
Hey, Greg's back. Hey, Greg.
Hey.
Yeah, there he is. He disappears.
I've been.
It's the most magical show on the network.
I've been, reading my David Copperfield illusion books, and now I can make myself disappear and reappear. Yeah,
I enjoy that. Good
That's
job.
what I've been doing my off season.
All right, let's get to this. This morning, ESPN.com, Emily Kaplan and a bunch of people just kind of put together their notes on this week, which is the busiest week in the offseason. This little note: Toronto continues to field calls on Matthew Knies. The Blackhawks have been interested for a while. Is Knies, 23, fits their age range to grow with Connor Bedard and the rest of the emerging core. The number 4 pick from Chicago is absolutely in play. And I'm watching the chat during the break, and there's people saying, if Kyle Davidson does not trade number 4 for Matthew Knies, he's an idiot and should be fired. And the other half say, there's no way in hell I would give up number 4 for Matthew Knies. So let's go around the table and say, would you give up number 4 for Matthew Knies? I'm going to do it with a caveat. I would if Stenberg is off the board. So I will sit there while the first 3 picks are made. And if Stenberg is still there, I am not trading it. If he is, I would trade it for Matthew Knies. Leafs fans think they're getting 4 and Frondell plus for Matthew Knies.
Leafs fans are idiots.
All over this specific rumor, this specific potential deal has emotions all over the map from both fan bases.
So, if it was set up to be 4th overall straight up for Matthew Knies, I'm doing it. But that's not what it's going to be. That's not what it would be, because that makes no sense for Toronto.
Right.
They're not just trying to get rid of the guy for someone who's going to be, at least a year away from contributing to their team. They're still trying to contend. They're still trying to make Austin Matthews happy and William Nylander and all those guys. They're trying to contend with those guys. They're getting Gavin McKenna. So if you're losing Matthew Knies to gain more assets, it's got to be players that are going to help you immediately. The Blackhawks don't have those guys aside from Connor Bedard or Anton Frondel, but those are guys you're not trading if you're the Blackhawks. That would be stupid to do that. So if it was just Matthew Knies for 4, yeah, I would do that, because I think you have a guy that is immediately impactful, fits the timeline, as Emily Kaplan wrote, and is cost controlled, is a guy that brings a player type that they don't have that they need and would benefit from. And at 4, like, could Matthew Knies, still with room to grow as a player at 23 years old, could he be as impactful as Ivar Stenberg if he's still on the board? Maybe. If Stenberg's off the board, Knies impacts you immediately, faster than a Caleb Malhotra could, or a Chase Reed could, or Verhoff, or whoever is there at 4 that they take. And it's that kind of that instant gratification kind of feeling of like immediately plug and play and impacts your team, rather than kind of waiting for a guy a year or 2 away to make that kind of impact. Again, it's not going to be 4 for Knies straight up. It wouldn't be. That would be stupid for Toronto.
Yeah, and I saw Chris Johnson was on Steve Dangle today and basically said, like, the Leafs are listening, and to move him, they're going to have to be blown away by a deal.
Yeah.
So
could the Blackhawks do that? Sure, but I don't think that they will.
I'm not trading 4 for Matthew Knies. Not. Just, it's not worth it to me. I mean, like, there's only one, and I'm not trading the 4th overall pick until I'm on the clock and see what's there.
Yeah, same.
There's only one guy I'm trading 4 for ahead of being on the clock, and that's Jason Robertson. That's it. Now, I'm not trading 4 for Knies just because I don't. He's a 60-point player. Yes, he's got that physicality that the Hawks definitely need. But, you know, if he's this amazing player that Leafs fans think they're getting 4 and Frondel plus more for, why are you trading him at 23 when you're trying to win now?
That's another conversation.
Right.
Yeah. Why are they trading him at all?
Why are I don't think the Leafs are trying to make a move to get rid of him. Like, had they not won the draft lottery, then yeah, I could say, all right, we're doing it. But you
get a haul and
you just got a reset by getting Gavin McKenna going. So why would you cancel that out by getting rid of Matthew Knies? It doesn't make any sense unless you're getting something better than him back. And the 4th overall pick, as you said, doesn't fill that hole. You leave him by you didn't get Darren Radish, overpay grossly for him,
right? Yeah.
To then give up on Matthew Knies.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And I'm still not trading 4 for Matthew Knies. It's not, to me, there are not a lot of guys I would trade for him and for the 4th overall. And just, Knies has a lot of what the Blackhawks need and would be a great addition. I like him as a player, but, you know, he's a 60-point guy, has never gotten much power play time on, like, is he a product of being able to play with Austin Matthews and William Nylander? Does he put up those same numbers here? I don't know.
I mean, if he plays with Connor Bedard,
maybe. I'm tired of maybes. I want for sure things. I don't want to give up 4th overall for another. He's probably going to be pretty good. We've got a roster of guys who are probably going to be pretty good. I'll give up number 4 for a guy I know without a shadow of a doubt is really freaking good right now.
I think
I'm pretty sure Matthew Knies is pretty good right now.
I'm pretty sure Matthew Knies is a top 6 player.
Why is everybody in a rush to trade him?
I don't think they're in a rush at all. But
I don't know. It's a good question.
You know, if they are going to, and like Chris Johnson said, like if they're going to get a haul that they can't refuse, all right, like, you're going to give us all that for Matthew Knies? Great. Okay, wonderful. And again, don't take the John Chaika factor out of this either, because, as we've been calling him since he got hired, fraudulent. So that's something.
Do you know him?
I don't know him. I don't know. Here's the thing, and I'm always honest on this show, and I have to tell everybody right now that I'm not in a good place mentally because all this crap is happening. We all want the Hawks to get better. They're not seemingly, aside from this Matthew Knies rumor, involved with. You're hearing the big names, and the Hawks just aren't being mentioned with any of it. And I'm fearful that the offseason moves are going to be Roman Kanserov, Maybe you resign Ilya Mikheyev and then you draft Carson Karls or Chase Reed. That to me is not a good enough offseason. And as we're looking at the landscape of free agency and trades, as we talked about before, so many players in this league have no movement clauses, especially the ones that are good, the ones that you would want. And the Hawks have not gotten to the point yet where they're desirable to other players, right? To star players. How are they going to get there? How are they going to reach the place where they become desirable, right? We talked about Brian Campbell and Chris Ball-Huet being the first big free agent signings that got the league's attention. Taves and Kane are there. They signed those two guys, and Marion Host is like, oh, damn, this team is on the cusp. At some point, they've got to get that move that gets the attention of the league, and you might have to overpay for it, like you overpaid for Brian Campbell and like you overpaid for Cristobal Huey massively, right? So it's not. I don't think it's as cut and dry as is Matthew Knies worth number 4. I don't know the answer to that, but I think for the Blackhawks, he might be, because how else are they going to fill these needs? Now, I've talked about over the last couple weeks my ideal offseason, which is perfectly attainable through free agency, and that's Marchment, that's AJ Greer, and Jacob Trouba. You're bringing in 3 ass kickers, and Marchment's like a 50-point guy who's kind of Matthew Knies light and 8 years older, but fine, right? Like, if that's what you have to do, but it just feels like there's nothing happening around the Blackhawks, and that's concerning to me. I don't want Kyle Davidson to just sit on his hands for a decade waiting for all of this stuff to come into fruition. And I will qualify this and say he operates in the shadows. Most Blackhawks moves come out of the blue with no warning. So again, during the time I've been speaking, he may have made a trade. I don't know. I haven't hit refresh yet, right? But it just feels like right now everyone knows this team needs to make a big move to get into conversation with Utah, Anaheim, San Jose. They're not. They're right there in our minds. They're not there in the minds of the 31 other teams in the league. They've got to make a move to get there, and it's probably going to cost more than what people are comfortable with.
Well, I think as we kind of talked about with the Brady Tkachuk trade is that, like, there's a few teams that in the eyes of players are destinations right now, and it's the guys that are being brought up in Dylan Larkin's list and Tkachuk's list, and you know, Jack Eichel, when he was getting out of Buffalo, was like, I would go to Vegas. Like, teams that operate where it is win at all costs, teams that operate ruthlessly, and teams that have success. Vegas and Florida have won cups recently. Carolina has operated that way. Like, Minnesota, I think, is with Bill Guerin in the last few years has kind of operated that way. Look at the move to get Quinn Hughes. Like, there's teams that are now kind of getting to the top of the league in a way that is just like it's a different approach, and not every team can operate that way. The Blackhawks couldn't just say, oh, we're just going to trade all these futures and get all these guys, because they didn't have the success once they got the futures and all those assets to move. And I think Florida, yeah, there was a time when Florida was at the bottom of the league and no one cared about them. But eventually they got some success, they got some players, and then, you know, you move on from Jonathan Huberdeau, who just had a 120-point season or whatever it was, to get Matthew Tkachuk, and then that puts you over. So it's just like, I think the big thing that is going to be a difference maker for making the Blackhawks a destination is, yes, having the assets, which they do. They could be in any of these trades and make these trades with the futures that they have, but it has to be a destination based off of success, and they haven't had that in the last number of years. And these top-tier players see the young players, they see the future, but they're not making these decisions to say, oh, well, maybe we'll win. They want to go where they know that they're going to have a chance to win, the shortest path to winning.
Yep.
And that's not in Chicago yet. So it might be you're making a move, like you said, like maybe that Brian Campbell move is somewhere this offseason where it's not going to be landing the biggest fish to get you to cup contention, A to B, shortest path. But it gives you the ability to have more success this season, plus the growth of the young players that you have, so that you're a destination and you're a player in the next summer or the summer after, where then you can say, okay, we have these futures, we have these players, we've had some success. Now these top-tier guys can come in and know that they're going to have a short path to contention or to a cup or whatever it is.
Yeah.
To ease your meatballiness that you've got going on, besides visit our sponsor, Sunnyside, on the way home. That will help.
Again?
But
okay.
Radio silence out of the Kyle Davidson front office is kind of the norm.
I know.
Like most of the
been.
moves have come out of nowhere. Like the Burakovsky trade, there was nothing leading up to that. The Nazar extension, the Knight extension, all that stuff kind of just came out of nowhere. So
you knew it was those extensions. You knew were on the horizon, but
they just materialized. Oh, by the way, this happened.
Right.
And so not hearing things is pretty on par for how they operate. So that doesn't really have me too concerned. And Mario, you're correct with, these guys now are seeing, hey, if I want to win, I got to go to these good teams. And that's hard for the Blackhawks to compete with. So that's why maybe, giving Alex Tuch more than anybody else would to get 2-3 really good years out of him gets you there. On the plus side, teams like the Panthers and the Golden Knights and the Wild, all these teams, they can't operate like that forever. That's not sustainable because eventually they're going to run out of money.
Yeah.
And eventually all these guys are going to...
You're going to run out of draft picks.
Well, yeah. You're not going to be able to trade for these guys. And eventually these guys are all going to get old and bad at the same time. So
Florida the fastest.
Yes. That happened to them last year. They all got hurt at the same time. And the Tkachuks, when was the last time they've both stayed healthy for a full season?
They never will.
Poor Sasha Barkov is going to have to play 16 minutes of penalty kill every night on that team now. He's going to have
get him that Selkie.
He's going to have 3 minutes of 5-on-5 the entire season.
When Brad Marchand is the third least putt
when
whacker.
Brad Marchand is your Lady Bing candidate, you've got a team full.
All right, we got to hit the brakes now. We're going to continue this conversation. We have, is that right, Chloe? We have almost 500 people watching, but only 95 likes. How can that be? Please hit that like button for us. This is going to be the busiest week of the summer. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. We'll be back in 2 minutes with more on CHGO Blackhawks.
What kinds of dreams did you have when you were a kid? What did you want to be when you grew up? How about now? Do you want to own your own business? Or if you're thinking about starting your own business, then you need Shopify. Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Shopify even powers the CHGO merch store. Shopify has got you covered with website creation, product descriptions, emails, and social media marketing, and much more. They also have AI tools designed to help you maximize sales. So if you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Start your business with Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for their $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. Again, that's shopify.com/allcity.
And when the biggest sporting event in the world comes to our backyard, toast with the icon of celebration, Don Julio 1942 during the 2026 World Cup. It's made to be raised. That bottle is iconic, and they have 3 different options for the World Cup. The original, the icon of celebrations, the trophy for legends on and off the field, and the mini for small but iconic moments. The trophy everyone can take home. Get a special edition of Don Julio 1942 that honors the artistry of tequila making, a symbol as timeless as a beautiful game itself, and inspired by the FIFA World Cup trophy. From stadiums to street parties, this release is close to the heart of culture where football, fashion, and flavor collide. It's made for those who move the moment forward, turning every celebration into a legacy. Be on the lookout for our USMNT watch party this Thursday at Joe's on Weed. They'll have samples and prizes. Go! Whether you're at your favorite spot or stocking up for home, make it a Don Julio 1942. Visit allchgo.com/event to RSVP. He's back.
Yeah, poof.
We did it. Just like magic. By the way, there's conversation in the chat. Yes, this is pre-recorded because they have to be exactly 2 minutes for the fast channel.
The ads are pre-recorded.
That's why they have to be 2 minutes. The ads aren't.
Yes.
The show's live.
And I don't have access to the reads on purpose.
That's right.
None of the sponsors trust me.
Not with that attitude.
No.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some super chats in here before we continue. Warm Bedards, $2 says, welcome back, Mario. I hope
Thank you.
your bay is doing well. How is your bay? Is it Tampa?
My baby?
Do you have
It says Bay.
Bay.
You have a dock and a boat now? Wow. He was
Is it Old Bay seasoning? Yes,
Sitting
we know
on
you
the
mean
dock
the
of the
baby,
bay.
Warren Bedard's.
Good. Yeah, little guy's doing good. He's sleeping, not at night, but he is sleeping. Eating, filling his diaper.
Same.
All the things he should be doing as a 1-month-old. But he's good.
Would
Yeah.
he trade number 4 for Matthew Knies?
Yeah, we got to get his takes.
I'm gonna ask him
Yeah,
tonight.
ask him tonight.
Yeah.
Report back to
Some
You know,
other
like the
people-
babies that... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say some other people are wondering if you ended up naming him Ivar.
No, I did
Ivar
not.
Tirabassi.
Yep.
No, I did not.
It's got a nice ring to it.
Did not.
But he will change the name if he falls the 4.
Yeah, I'm not attached to it.
Yeah, I mean, the birth certificate hasn't been officially filed yet. That's what Whiteout's
That's
for.
true. That's true. Haven't gotten that yet. No, it felt very long to be away, even though it was just it was 4 weeks. But it felt very long to be away. But it was good. Good to just have time to just be a parent. As most of you know, I also have a 4.5-year-old daughter, so got to spend some more time with her. It's good. Family's doing good. But glad to be back, especially the timing is perfect coming back for draft week. So good. It's good stuff.
All right. Next up, we've got a super chat from Brandon. $5 says, I think they can trade down and use a 2027 first and one of those seconds to get Knies. Might cost Lardis, but that's fine.
No, it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
Again, if Toronto is moving a guy who plays on their top line, who can give you 60 to 70 points, and they signed long term, they're getting immediate help back for it. That's just how unless they're moving Knies and then they're like, we're also trading Austin Matthews and we're blowing everything up. Which, why would you do that? As long as
makes
Austin
no sense,
Matthews
no.
and William Nylander and you just signed Darren Radish, like. No,
You've got 8 years
you're trying
of
to
Darren
you're trying to
Radish
contend.
experience.
Yeah,
You want to win 7 cups over those 8
Right.
years.
All right. Joker's Performance, $10 says, Greg, you know what Knies is. Any draft pick is a question mark till they're not. Knies is better than most of what we have. You know what he is, and he's cheap for what he is. So I think that's in response to you saying,
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't disagree
you
with
wanna
any of
make
that.
sure it's a sure
but I
thing.
think that if I'm using the number 4 overall pick in any draft, it should be a guy that gets me more than 60 points. And I think Chase Reed could get you more than 60 points. That's just my opinion.
that'd be amazing.
I mean,
yeah, it's to me though. It's.
I feel
and
like
I agree. I just think it's the conversation isn't as cut and dry as is a number 4 overall pick a 60-point guy. I think we have to look at this in like where the Hawks are in their timeline, the fact that they have to get better, the fact that they have to make steps. Like there's whatever they do this offseason, chances are it's going to have to be an overpay. Whether it's signing Alex Tuch as a free agent, whether it's signing Mason Marchment or Jacob Trouba and or AJ Greer, it's going to be an overpayment because to get guys to come to where the Hawks are right now, that's going to be their difference maker. Is going to be, we're going to give you $1 million more bucks, $2 million more bucks than anybody else is offering. And you might have to give up more than you believe a player is worth in terms of like when you go in the trade calculators and the usual value of a number 4 pick versus Matthew Knies. 4 will probably outweigh that, but to me, the closer we get to this, and again, I am fully admitting that anxiety is playing a role in my mind right now, but like, it might be worth it to the Blackhawks to move the 4th pick because they have so many more draft picks coming. They've made so many in years past. Like it's time to move this freaking thing ahead.
I am all for bringing Matthew Knies in. I'm all for trading the number 4 overall pick in the right trade. I'm just not for those things in the same thing. That's all. I don't want to trade number 4 just to appease people that want to trade.
Would you trade prospects you like then for Knies?
Sure.
Like would you trade like Nazar for Knies?
I'd have to think about that. I'm not saying yes right away, and I'm not saying no right away. I'd have to ponder that.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up, one-on-one?
Yeah, 1 for 1. Actually, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually I'd probably say sure because it gives you Frank Nazar represents.
He's also 22. Frank Nazar is 22.
Right.
He's only a year younger.
A year younger.
Frank, swapping out Nazar for Knies gets rid of some of that roster redundancy that you have right now.
Right.
You're trading something you already sort of kind of already have to get something you don't have. That's
right.
To me, that's a good trade. Giving something you have more than one of to get something you have zero of. Sign me up for that. That's a good trade. So I could be talked into that.
All right, let's throw in another name then, because this is one that a lot of people have been talking about too, is Bowen Byram. And when we talk about people's desire to come to Chicago, what everyone is saying about Bowen Byram is he wants the opportunity to be the man. He wants the opportunity for the first time in his career to be the number one defenseman. And this is a place that has the assets to get him and the roster spot to give him for at least a few years and say, you are our number one. You are my number one guy. Right there, him and whoever you want to put on the right side to play with him. I don't know if I'm giving up 4 for him, but it feels like a really good fit too. Again, it's like
25 years old.
There's so many things that fit, but how are they going to get it done without this fourth overall pick being part of it?
I've seen a few people say Byram's already been traded. I haven't seen that.
I think Oglethorpe had one too many sodas after.
Okay.
The game.
25 years old.
Yes, he was traded from Colorado to Buffalo.
Right. That was a while ago. Left shot. So yeah, I mean, I would venture a guess he would surpass Vlasic and Kaiser on the depth chart and be the number one left side guy. I mean, they passed on him once before. Don't do it again.
Yeah,
that's also a guy that I think you could make a play for. And yeah, like you said, like he's looking for the opportunity to get more minutes, to be, the guy on the top line defensively and have all those things.
He's already got his cup.
Sure. Yeah. He's already won.
He doesn't
need to do any more winning. Come to Chicago.
It's a victory lap time.
No. He absolutely would be an improvement. He'd be a guy that pushes things forward. And, when you're looking at a young, unproven defensive group, you add a guy that is still within the timeline of that group, but someone who's proven to be capable and be effective and be a guy that can handle those minutes. And I think it'd be someone that would really make an immediate improvement. So if you're talking again about immediate improvement, the number 4 picking a player there other than Stenberg, you don't get the immediate improvement. You're waiting at least a year or 2 or 3 for them to come to become the player that makes that immediate impact that a Knies or a Byram would be.
All right.
Well, here's a scenario.
Here's some news real quick. Elliot Friedman, when he says stuff like this, means it's about to happen. Typically, he says hearing Ottawa is focusing hard on San Jose's William Eklund as a trade target.
Okay.
Which tells me
Wow.
the San Jose Sharks are taking Ivar Stenberg.
If they're
trading
Eklund,
Probably.
yeah.
Here's a scenario I would trade for Knies.
It'd be interesting to see what the return would be though for Eklund if there's any players going back.
Yep.
Probably one of those first round picks they just got from Florida.
Makes sense.
All right. Here's a scenario I would trade for Knies. McKenna's off the board, Stenberg's off the board, and then Vancouver drafts Chase Reed. So would I take Matthew Knies over Caleb Malhotra? Might be in 3 years, yes. But I don't make that trade until.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. For me too, I'm yes-anding you. I don't believe that there is. So the consensus is that Chase Reed is the best. But every time someone says it, they're like, but you could certainly take Carl's there, or even maybe Verhoff, or even maybe Albert Smith. It's like, if Chase Reed is not, boom, the best defenseman in this class, boom, period, everyone knows it, then I'm not like, then I don't.
Yeah, but everybody has them going 1.
Because the value of 4 is different every year depending on draft, right? Like some drafts are just stronger than others. And I don't feel like 4 this year is as strong as it's been in years past. So that's why I'm a little more willing to be like, they're in a spot where it's hard to get stuff, hard to get players. where they're at right now, and I'll take the chance that maybe Chase Reed turns out to be a stud, and I think he will. That's the guy I think if I was picking right now for a defenseman, that's who I'd choose. But, like, it just doesn't seem like the consensus is so strong that he is so far and ahead of the best.
Every mock draft has him as the first defenseman off the board, though. So they could say, yeah, you could take Karls here or Veerhoff here, but we're taking Reed. Like, so I haven't seen a lot of mocks that had any of those guys ahead of Chase Reed.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You know what I'm happy for? I'm happy that the draft is on Friday. So we don't have to keep going over these things over and over and over and over again. There are guys I would definitely move for. I'm not saying 4 is untradeable. As you mentioned earlier, Frank Saravalli mentioned Kirill Marchenko could be out there. Don't say that on Twitter because then all 7 Blue Jackets fans.
I love that I got called fat and other things by a Blue Jackets fan on Twitter for saying if Werenski's available. And then ever since that conversation, it has been number 1 added to Frank Saravalli's trade targets.
Yeah.
It's been discussed on 30 Thoughts. I'm just sitting there like palms up, like, see, I didn't make it up out of whole cloth. But Columbus is interesting because, as Frank Saravalli pointed out today, 27 years they've been in the league and have done absolutely nothing of note. They have been the same team forever.
They got
and guys can't wait to get out of there.
No, you're right.
And do you think Zach Werenski in 2 years is coming back?
Charlie Coyle is committed for 6 years.
Sure.
Boone Jenner.
So is Kirill Marchenko going to, and that's why, like, I want to talk about him today because is that a guy you'd give up 4 for? He's eligible for a new contract on, he's got 2 years left.
Marchenko? No.
Oh, no, he's got 1 year left. So July. Oh, is he RFA right now?
I believe he is.
No.
No, 1 more year?
He's got 1 year left, but he would be eligible for an extension July 1st.
Right, which you'd be smart to do now.
So Right, or you can wait till July 1st and do a sign and trade so Columbus could sign him.
Sure.
But that's a guy who's never played with anyone good. Right?
And he's got great numbers.
It is put up last year had 27 goals in 76 games, 31, 23.
Big, fast winger.
If you were to play him with Connor Bedard, 6'3", 195, 25 years old.
He's like getting a better, younger Alex Tuck.
Yes, and you don't know the name because
he's in Columbus.
But, like, that is the kind of guy when you're talking about, and like, so this is what I was trying to get to earlier is, as you're looking ahead, like, okay, who are these guys that might be leaving anyway that teams might want to maximize the return for now? I would give up 4 probably plus for Marchenko and not even blink at it.
Yeah, Marchenko's a guy I'd move 4 for if he comes with an extension for sure. Definitely. Yeah. To me, he's a great fit, and has size, has speed, has a great shot. Has put up, 30 goals in each of the last 2 seasons, playing with not a lot of help. Him on a line with Bedard and possibly Kanserov. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. Or him on a line with Frondell. That looks pretty good to me. I'll be on that. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Ottawa's getting William Eklund from Chris Johnston, so that's happening. Now we just need to know what the return is.
Interesting. Yeah.
The number 2 pick.
Yeah, so, I mean, Marchenko, for sure. Like, that's another guy. You throw him on the pile of guys that are in rumors, could be available, that all make sense for the Blackhawks to be in on. I just wonder with Columbus, like, is there anything you can do to, make it enticing for Werenski and Marchenko to not leave? Like,
I mean, Charlie Coyle's there for 6 more years.
Yeah, and you got to get a deal done with Fantilli and all that stuff.
You know what you have to do?
Like,
overpay them.
Yeah, well, that's
more than the Blackhawks.
And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's like what they'd have to do.
Sorry.
I just think like I feel like there's going to be teams that have to figure out how to keep these guys, because Columbus can't just be a team that just no one goes to. Like they'll just fade into obscurity. So they got to do something. They got to do whatever they can to keep these guys around. So it's in their best interest to overpay for them. But I mean, for Marchenko especially. But I mean, yeah, that's Chicago's a team that can give up the assets, can be in on the trade, can make the money work. Like, it all makes sense. It's just it's going to be hard to see how they get it done.
Can you imagine being Charlie Coyle, signing up for a 6-year contract to stay in Columbus, the tail end of your long career, and Zach Rowinski and Kirill Marchenko hit the bricks, and you're stuck there with nobody?
I mean, at least you're probably the captain.
Yeah, that's what he gets. That's what he gets for high stick and Duncan Keith back in 2014.
Boy, I'm really focused on this William Eklund thing. So now they're going to get. You would assume Ottawa's giving up 9 for Eklund that they just got from Florida.
Yes,
that would make that
at least.
So now maybe they get Vigo Bjork to play in San Jose if he's there at 9. They take Stenberg and Bjork.
They got to use one of those picks for a defenseman.
No, they don't. They're going to win every game 8-7.
Well, yeah, if they have 9, then they're probably going to have a choice of maybe Verhoff or Smits or
Dex and
Rudolph, Ryan Lynn, like those,
especially if
those guys.
If they do Stenberg too.
And as we said, if there's not a huge gap between all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, so now let's assume that 9 is included in this trade, and if you're just jumped in, Ottawa's acquiring William Eklund from the Sharks, you would assume that number 9 pick they just got from Florida for Tkachuk is in play, which indicates to us that the Sharks are going to take Stenberg too.
Probably.
Does that change your mindset now in terms of trading for sooner to ensure you get something done? Or do you still wait and just let the cards fall where they may?
I still wait, or I still try and get 2 from San Jose. Maybe San Jose makes this trade to then get the Blackhawks asking price to go up for number 2. I mean, Mike Greer said today he's gotten a few legitimate offers for it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Mm-hmm. Depends how much they value Stenberg or whoever they want to take up at 2. Like, it puts them in a bigger, it puts them in the driver's seat when it comes to moving number 2. Maybe they're adding number 9 because that's the first step to trading away number 2 for something else.
Maybe.
To ensure that they get a top 10 pick out of this whole thing. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
I just need something.
I need a trade so you calm the F down. I can't take you right now.
I'm sorry. Look, everyone, I'm doing my best. The 3 of us are in this very nebulous, fanalist place where we want the Hawks to be good and we want them to win. It's like, oh my God! And it's like, I just want something to happen, and I'm confident something will happen.
Something will happen.
Oh my God! Like
anything will happen.
Might be a boat.
I hope that
just make something.
Do something.
Make a noteworthy trade. Like something where people go, oh, good ad for the Blackhawks. That's it. At this point, I'll take it.
That would be nice.
Remember we had the conversation before the Bedard draft lottery. Would you, if it guaranteed you number 2, would you pass on the opportunity for number 1?
Before the lottery?
Before the lottery?
Yeah.
And we had that conversation, and I think I said yes, I would. And I'm glad I didn't. But, man, it's just... This time of year, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. And then everyone's yelling at you and calling you gay on Twitter and stuff. It's because you're talking hockey. It's just exhausting. I just need it to be over. I just need the draft to get here because it's going to be really exciting. By the way, we will be live during the draft round 1. And then Saturday we'll do a reaction show. And we're going to be at development camp next week. So on ice.
With
let's
players
talk about
skating.
that a little bit.
Yeah. That's fun.
We also got yelled at for the Hawks changing that. That was our fault.
Sure.
So,
I mean,
why do you think to change though?
The reason the rebuild isn't working is because they weren't on ice. That don't you know? That's what I was told.
I'm curious to see why Kyle Davidson says they changed the format. Because again, we all want to see hockey on the ice as soon as we can, right? Like the opportunity to see
prospect camp's always fun.
Prospects play is great, but I understood their logic of we're not going to have these guys just play long seasons. We don't want them beating up on each other. Cool, I buy that. I'd rather watch them play, but I buy your philosophy. Why now has it changed? And I wonder if it's just my initial thought and not knowing the answer. We'll find out from Kyle Davidson probably Friday at the latest. Is it like now that they've got their main crop of prospects and they've all sort of graduated, they probably want to see this newer, younger group of prospects together, see how they look on the ice. I don't know. I don't know why the change. I have no problem with if they're like, hey, you know what? We tried this. It didn't go like we thought, so we changed it. Okay, cool. But it just seems they were so bullish on the off-ice only thing. Curious as to why they
did it for what, 3 prospect camps?
The Bedard camp was the first one they did it for.
Yeah.
Because we're like, they should sell tickets to
so
prospects camp.
23, 24, 25.
And then they just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree to your points of like, I understand why they did it. I could see the thought process and, the physical side of things for the guys. Some of them, it disrupts their summer workout program. Some of them play really long seasons, and it's just more hockey to play. And they wanted that group of young players to kind of have a camaraderie and kind of grow together and kind of mature through those stages of becoming a pro and all that through development camp, rather than having, Samuel Savoie picking fights with guys in dev camp just to get a rise out of the crowd or whatever.
Just to get noticed. Right?
Yeah. So I totally understand why they did that, and I would have been fine if they had kept it that way because, I understand that logic. But my speculation is that they've done that. They've got a large group of prospects and young guys that have gotten to the pro ranks or are on the cusp of the pro ranks, who have gone through a few development camps and that have been off ice. These guys have that kind of bond that they were hoping for, even just a little bit. We're seeing some of those guys now get to the NHL level, like Lardis and Oliver Moore, and just a group of young guys that they've got moving forward, Ryan Green and all that. So now it might be at a point where we're like, okay, now we need to ramp up some internal competition. This could be a cause and effect of, like, we talk about like this team needed to be tougher, meaner, all this stuff, play more physical, and like, not to say 3 days of hockey in summer is going to change that, but just the atmosphere of maybe internal competition and having these guys from an early start to their time in the Blackhawks organization is that they have that mentality of competition and having to fight for your spot. So it gives them a little bit more fire than maybe we've seen from some of these young guys as they've stepped into the pro game, that we've kind of at this tail end of this last season, we've kind of been like, I'd like to see a little bit more of that from this group, or how do we get more of that if it has to go from outside the organization?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Kyle Davidson says about it. Yeah, like I said, we understand the explanation why they did it, but now it's changed, so we'll find out. There's one more super chat we got to get to real quick.
It's a new coaching staff. Maybe it's something Blashill wanted.
Yeah, maybe he gave it a shot and was like, I want to see these guys.
You got guys who are going to be in development camp that could be challenging for, will be in training camp. Maybe he wants to get a head start look at them.
Well, and Nightingale too with the Ice Hogs.
Yeah, a lot of those guys are going to be in Rockford, so why not get, I mean, it's just going to be your standard drills. It's not going to be anything earth-shattering. So one way or the other, I don't think it's...
Prospect camp a few years ago was like 5 days of like every day was like a scrimmage. Yeah. It was awesome.
Great for us.
For fans, yeah. It was awesome to just go for free down to Johnny's and watch Chad Chris and Alex DeBrincat before he was a pro, and... who are some of the other guys?
I watched Tomo Ruchu destroy Igor Radulov at the Edge in Bensonville first day of Prospects Camp. That was fun.
Don't forget Evan Barrett.
Evan Barrett.
Good one.
Yeah. Tim Soderlund.
Let's get this last super chat in here. We will go to overtime, by the way, in about 45 seconds. So if you're watching on the fast channels, switch on over to allchgo.com. This from Gen Z 75. for $5 says, at what point is Davidson's seat hot? Well, he just signed a contract extension like last month. However, if this offseason is a total bust and the team still finishes bottom 4 or 5, I think the conversation certainly needs to start.
His seat's hot. Then it is hot because this,
like July 2nd, his seat could be hot.
Maybe. I think you gotta see what happens through the offseason and how the team looks on the ice. Because if you're saying we're banking on this group as we go to overtime, right? 3, 2, 1.
There you go. We did it.
Now we're in overtime. As you're banking on this group to internally take steps forward as the young players and to grow and develop, and they're going to be the ones pushing things forward and getting the results. If they don't get the results and you have a quiet off season, well, then it's just like, well, what we're going to do this again? We're going to do this again where we bank on the development of the guys and don't bring anybody in? Like then you're completely in a spot where you're spinning your wheels.
There is a 0% chance that all of these Hawks prospects that we all very much like, from Connor Bedard to Sam Renzel to Ryan Green, are all going to develop into NHL stars or NHL everyday players. It's just the odds are not in the favor of that working. So at some point, it's got to move forward. And this is year 4 of the rebuild. This is when we started talking about when the rebuild began in 2022. Yeah, 2026, 27, 28 is when you start thinking about, playoff contention, like getting in a playoff spot. That's where we're at right now. And while, again, we all very much like what the Hawks prospects have done so far, no one aside from Bedard has really emerged as like, oh my God, this guy is an undeniable star, right? It just hasn't happened, and they've picked high in the draft, and maybe that's Frondell. I don't know if I'm ready to say that after 12 games. We were all very quick to say that about Sam Renzel after the end of last year, and it just wasn't the case. He did not come out and have a great year last year. So, aside from Bedard, I don't know who is going to be like, can this guy be the second best or third best player on a champion? I don't think they have that guy yet. And I don't know where it's coming from.
Well, only so many guys can hit the ground running like a guy like Bedard did and a guy like Macklin Celebrini did in San Jose or Matthew Schaefer last year. Like, there's only so many players that can really do that. So you needed to have some runway for Nazar and Levshinov and Renzel. Like, you still need runway for those guys to kind of get to that spot where you're like, oh yeah, they're establishing themselves in the NHL. And we've seen a few of those steps, but there's going to need to be more of those steps. And if you're relying on all of that to happen internally, that's a big gamble to take. I mean, it could work out. Frondell could be a guy that hits the ground running. I mean, he had 9 points in 12 games last year.
I saw from
he
him.
Looked really good.
Yep.
If he steps in and does, in one full year, what a lot of people are hoping or expecting he could do, which put up 50, 60 points, play, two center, or play on Bedard's wing, wherever they end up putting him. If Roman Kantarov steps in and becomes a 50, 60 point guy right away, like, that would be amazing.
It's just
it's just a lot to bank on actually happening. And they have a lot of good young prospects still coming up, guys that are in college that are still, figuring things out. But it's just, it just has to take that next step. And I don't think it can happen without a significant addition this offseason. So if you don't have that, then you're looking at you're really behind it.
Yep. All right, here's the full trade. Ottawa gets William Eklund, Kasper Halttunen, and Brandon Svoboda. The Sharks get the number 9 overall pick. That's the trade via Frank Saravalli. San Jose now picking 2nd, 9th, and 27th overall in this draft. So there you go. There you have it.
Maybe they'll give all 3 of those picks to Toronto for Matthew Knies.
There you go. Maybe they will.
He's worth it, right?
2, 9, and 27? No. 9 and 27? Maybe.
Halttunen was a second-round pick in 2023. And who was the other guy?
Brandon Svoboda.
Wasn't there a Svoboda on the Blackhawks?
There's a
many moons
Peter
ago?
Svoboda that played in the NHL. Was he on the Hawks, though?
Brandon Svoboda
No.
was a third-round pick in 2023. So you get Eklund, a recent former second-round pick, and a recent former third-round pick.
All right.
All for 9.
Let's do 84 now.
Interesting.
Ready?
All right.
We'll let Mario go first since he had a
So
baby.
how does this operate?
We
on the
play
show?
hard mode, and we only get 1 respin.
Okay.
So you can change the team once.
You
or
change
the
the
era
team or
once.
the era,
That's
but
it.
not both.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So current standings, Greg and I are tied at 4. I am the only one that has a perfect 84-0 so far.
Okay. So this is. So I'm picking this.
So yes, you have the 2000s Oilers, Hemsky, Surrey, Pisani, Smith, Horkoff, Salo,
Blackhawks
Rolison,
legend,
Pronger,
Fernando
Smith.
Pisani.
I'm good. Chris Pronger.
Okay. 90s Bruins, Poulin, Hodge, Bork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Ray
Dmitry
Bork.
Kordunov? I've
Ray
never
Bork.
heard of that guy.
That's my defense.
That's pretty good. 90s Flyers, Brindamore, Lindros, Recchi, Leclerc.
Mark Recchi.
80s Whalers, Ron Francis, Mike Litt. I don't know that guy. I've seen that name before. Sylvain Turgeon.
Ron Francis.
Got a pretty good shot here, actually. 90s Devils.
Patrick Brodeur. Martin Brodeur. Patrick Brodeur. His
Patrick Ilias.
2000s Ducks. Ooh, man.
Oh, Paul Correa.
That's
Easy.
your guy.
Hell yeah.
This might be
That's a good team.
That's a good 78 and 6. All right. No spins, yeah. Good job.
No.
All right, you're up
You
next,
play
Greg.
what the board gives you.
All right.
All right, Greg's up next. I thought you had it there.
90s Oilers. Is this a repeat of what we just did?
No, it's a different group.
I had 2000s.
Arnott, Waite,
all those
Ranford,
guys
Satan,
suck.
Boris Mironov, Ryan Smith, Curtis Joseph.
Give me Curtis Joseph as my goalie. I'm probably going to regret that.
Ooh.
But I'll save my spin for when I'm stuck for a different. What the?
2000s
Ooh.
Thrashers,
Ooh.
Enstrom, Little, Hossa, Heatley,
All right,
Kovalchuk.
all right.
Good players, honestly,
All right, give me Marion Hossa.
for this game.
Ooh, you left Kovalchuk on the board, huh?
Ooh,
2010s Red Wings. Gee, this is tough.
that is a tough
Yeah,
one.
Lidstrom,
give me-
Datsuk, Zetterberg.
Give me Nicholas Lindstrom, please, and thank you.
80s
Oh,
Oilers.
gee,
Oh,
who?
come on.
I wonder who.
I mean, Charlie Huddy's right there, but I'm going to take Wayne Gretzky. 90s Blackhawks.
Oh, Chelio Smith, Suter
Give me
Goulet.
Chris Chelios.
Yeah, that's an easy
Get
pick.
those teammates reunited.
This is a good team.
80s Islanders. Oh,
Hercules,
man.
Johnsonelli. You got a redraw if you want it.
I'm going to redraw team, please. I think I can do better. Both of those guys are good, but I think I could do better.
Robitaille,
you did better.
Give me Luke Robitaille, please. I
You
did
did
do better.
better.
Yes, I did.
That's a good
All right.
team.
That is.
Wow, 72, 9, and 3.
This game sucks.
All right,
Dang.
my
How
turn.
is that a
I think
70?
Curtis Joseph held you back.
Look at. I don't know.
90s Flyers. I will take Eric Lindros. Thank you very much.
That's a good pick.
2020s Lightning. Give me Nikita Kucherov.
That's an easy pick. Vasilevsky.
70s Islanders. Give me Dennis Potvin.
Yeah.
I heard he sucks.
90s Rangers. Richter Bukaboom. Give me Brian Leach.
Yeah. That's a good pick.
90s Blues. Give me Brendan Shanahan.
Ooh, your goalie.
Oh.
My goalie is.
Last pick. Oh,
Yeah, we're going to respin. I'm not taking Jordan Bennington. Redraw team,
Brian
please.
Elliott.
Thank you. 2010s Knights.
there you go.
Malcolm Subban.
Blackhawks legend,
All right,
Malcolm
I'll take
Subban.
Marc-Andre Fleury. That's going to kill me. That's going to be the one
No,
that does me
Golden
in.
Knights Flurry's pretty good.
look at that.
72, 9, and 3. Me and Greg had the same record.
I actually was better. I had fewer, right? It was exactly the same.
No,
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
See,
All right,
it's
Mario gets the first win.
All right.
Welcome back.
New dad bump.
Yeah.
got
That's it.
him the victory.
There you go.
Besides
Not available,
raising, besides raising my son, playing that game is all I've been doing during leave.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's super easy.
Yes. All right, we're wrapping things up. Thanks again to our friends at Sunnyside for presenting CHGO Blackhawks Draft Week. Use that code HICHGO for 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Talk to you tomorrow at 3 on CHGO Blackhawks.
We all silly like the mayor.